Hello, Year 12 and Year 13, and welcome to this week's assembly. I'm going to start off this week with a couple of very bad jokes. So firstly, I was driving past a packet of crisps and I asked whether they wanted a lift. Do you know what they said? No thanks, we're walkers. Here's another one for you. What did one nut say to another? Catch you later. And one last painful one for you. Did you hear the joke about the peanut, the walnut, and the pistachio? It was not funny. So, why am I opening with this series of extremely bad snack-related jokes? There's a bit of a clue on the screen at the moment. See if you can think in your form about what hit the news headlines at the start of the weekend that concern these particular familiar brands on the screen. So if you're not sure, it was this. KP Snacks hack, props, crisp and nut supplies warning. So there's a huge issue at the moment with supplies of KP snacks, some of the most popular snacks that we eat here in Britain. So you'll recognise lots of the snacks on the screen now. And there's a massive shortage of them, or there's concerns of the supply because there's been a hacking into the company. So I was reading up on this article because I thought, although bad news for KP Snacks was a bit of lighter news compared to some of the other things going on. And this is what the article said. Shops have been warned deliveries of nuts and crisps could be at risk after KP Snacks was hit by ransomware. In a letter to retailers, first reported by Better Retailing, the company said it cannot safely process orders or dispatch goods. The producer of McCoy's, hula hoops, and various varieties of nuts apologised for any disruption. In a message quoted by Better Retailing, one wholesaler warned problems could last into March. That's a long time without your favourite snacks, year 12 and year 13. Initial discussions have highlighted that no orders would be placed or delivered for a couple of weeks at least, and service could be affected until the end of March at the earliest, the wholesaler wrote. Countdown timer. In a post on the darknet seen by BBC News, cybercriminals published personal documents from staff with the company letterhead. A countdown timer on the page warns more will be published unless a ransom is paid. Often, ransomware hackers will gain entry to a computer network, steal valuable data, and then scramble the victim's copies of documents. Ransoms are then demanded for the decryption of the data and the deletion of a hacker's copy of sensitive information. So cybersecurity response. KP Snacks, which is a factory in Billingham, said, on Friday the 20th of January, we became aware that we were unfortunately victim of a ransomware incident. As soon as we became aware of the incident, we enacted our cybersecurity response plan and engaged a leading forensic information technology firm and legal counsel to assist us in our investigation. We've been continuing to keep our colleagues, customers, suppliers informed of any developments and apologise for any disruption this may have caused. The police advise organisations not to pay ransoms, but many do. Last June, the world's largest meat processing company paid criminals $11 million or £7.8 million, for example. So, very bad news for KP Snacks, very bad news for KP Snack fans. But what I thought was really interesting when I was reading up on this is it reminded me about what a lot of actually year 13 students have applied for university this year. And as I've been doing UCAS the last couple of years, I've definitely seen an interest in computer science related degrees and careers growing. Now, when something like this hits the news, it does make you think, wow, all these people that are involved in the jobs behind these things, trying to solve these problems, it just opens your eyes really to what jobs are out there. So if you're reading this article along with me now and thinking, wow, imagine being part of the team now that has to investigate this and look into how this hacking has occurred, or is maybe actually part of the team trying to prevent this happening in other companies, what kind of jobs are out there? And if it only takes a short little search online, really, year 12 and year 13, to realise all the opportunities that are out there in the cybersecurity and computer science sector. One option is to go actually straight into an apprenticeship. So, for example, on Virgin Media's website at the moment, there's a live apprenticeship opportunity. where you can do an apprenticeship in cybersecurity. You can do it straight from school. This particular one is in London, but you start off on a really, really promising salary, obviously with pretty much a guaranteed job with the company, and then you can take your cybersecurity apprenticeship qualifications elsewhere. That's one route into this sector. Another route into it is obviously studying a degree in computer science or in a related degree. So this is just one example of many computer science degrees that are out there. This particular one's at Cardiff University. And although Cardiff University do offer just a straight computer science degree, they also offer this one, computer science with security and forensics. They also have other alternatives such as this one and the straight computer science with things like a placement year or year abroad. And you can see if you studied this particular one, you'd get a Bachelor of Science with Honours award. And it would take you 3 years then to study that full time. And there's lots of equivalent, similar, but also quite diverse courses across a range of universities. Now, if you went down the graduate route and you wanted to get a degree first, studying this kind of course would obviously open you up to a lot of different careers within computer science. But one of them could be working within a cybersecurity department for a particular company, or actually for a cybersecurity firm who may contract out to particular companies. So this is one example. Obviously, when you have a look at the internet, there are ones all across the UK, lots in London, lots elsewhere. But with cybersecurity, a lot of them are remote as well. And this particular one is actually for Rhondda and Taff Council, so just up the road. And this one's based in Ferndale, although it's also remote. And this one is a graduate officer, and it starts on just over 27 grand, a full-time fixed-term contract. And it just gives a little bit of information there, you know, working for the council. It offers lots of kind of opportunities, and there's a real need for kind of cybersecurity in all different kinds of places. This is kind of, you know, council government level. There'll be lots of private companies that need this. And there's lots of very different cybersecurity jobs available out there. So just something to think about, really. Sometimes some of us can really struggle with, you know, what we want to do and what we actually are passionate about. And sometimes it's as simple as just looking at what's on the news, looking at what's going on around you. And if something you find particularly interesting, or you think something's particularly concerning, then maybe think about, well, how can I contribute to this area? What are people doing for their jobs in this area? How can maybe I be part of the solution? And then that can lead you on to discovering jobs you maybe never even knew existed. Okay, so apart from that, then, I just want to make you aware of some upcoming opportunities that Dr. Rowe has been emailing you about. Please sign up to these. There's some fantastic ones coming up this week and in the next few weeks. So starting off this Tuesday, then, on the 8th of February, we've got a brilliant talk lined up with the Royal Navy. The Royal Navy are going to be giving us an overview of their role really as the Royal Navy, and also lots of information about their ships and submarines, and I'm sure lots of very useful information about if you're interested in a career with them. So please come along to that, especially if you're considering not a straight route into university and you're thinking about doing something a little bit different as well. Later this week, on Thursday, the 10th of February, we've also got a very important talk on mental health and well-being with Cardiff Met. Now, this is really open and relevant to everybody in the sixth form. It doesn't matter what you're interested in doing in the future. It doesn't matter what courses you're doing at the minute. Everybody has mental health and everybody has well-being that they need to look after. Now, in this session, Cardiff Met have said that they're going to be giving us a practical guide to strategies that you can use to maintain your mental health and your well-being during your studies. Lots of you now over the next couple of months going to be feeling some pressure from obviously upcoming assessments and exams and so on. And we want to make sure that you're mentally prepared for that, as well as obviously being ready academically through your revision. So please come along to that, okay? We want as many people there as possible. You haven't got to be struggling with a mental health issue at the moment to be proactive about it and to come and think about what you can do to keep your mental health in check over the next couple of months. Also then, next Wednesday, there's a really kind of different talk that Glyndŵr University are putting on for us. It's called Be a Probation Officer for the Day, and it's going to be giving us an insight into what it's like to be a probation officer. This is going to be really relevant for anybody that is currently maybe studying psychology or criminology, or with an interest in this area going into this kind of career. There'll be an opportunity to ask loads of questions as well. And this is a really practical application looking into a particular job rather than a general subject area. And then coming up in March as well, then Dr. Rose already booked in a fantastic talk on nature versus nurture. That's also going to be led by Glyndŵr University. As many of you will know, this is a massive concept in psychology, really. Lots of you will already have a basic knowledge of it. So for anyone currently studying psychology or criminology, you definitely need to come along to this. But anybody with a general interest in humanities who would like to know more about this debate, then it's sure to be a really interesting one. And then lastly, for the moment, oh, 1 second, sorry, the slide isn't quite loading for me. Lastly, for the moment, on Wednesday the 16th of March, Bath Spa are going to be talking to us about how to study effectively. Now, obviously, later this week, we're going to have that great talk on well-being and mental health. And then another part of really managing yourself as you study towards exams is going to be how you actually apply certain study skills. Now, in tutorial time, we're going to be covering certain study skills with you. I know Year 13 are going to be doing something on that this week, actually. But it's great to have advice as well from other sources, and they're going to be using their research to give you advice on what study skills are great to use here at the moment in your studies, and also beyond if you go into university and you need to continue your studies then. So as you can see, a fantastic range of talks coming up, year 12 and year 13. Please try and sign up to them. They only take really an hour of your time on an evening, and they could be of great use to you, giving you an insight into different careers or giving you particular skills or tools that you may need over the coming months. Remember, if there's anything that you need this week, then just get in touch with your form tutor and remember the sixth form team. Have a fantastic week. We've just got this week and the next week to go, and then you're going to have a lovely February half-term break. Well done, everybody. See you soon.